Hello YouTubers, this week's video is I'm making a return trip back to Wisner's to check out my new rod.
Well, hello YouTubers. Today I'm back down at Wisner's in Newaygo. Temperature's right around 53 degrees. We've had rain all day yesterday and into the night. So not sure how that's going to affect the fishing. Giving the new rod another shot, trying to struggle with it. Kind of a cool day, looking in the 50s. The same setup as I had on my last trip out. Breezy. It's going to go up on the platform, but there's guys up on it. Other fishermen didn't want to disturb them, so I'm kind of doing back over here at Wisner's Landing, and to see if we can have any luck here. Maybe a little short video. Kind of impromptu. Had an unfortunate accident the other day. I was taking my rods out after restringing them out to the truck, and I got the tip of my fly rod caught in the door and snapped it. And that was not good. So I watched several videos on repairing the rods. It did snap up towards the end of the tip, which is a good thing. It's about a 9-foot rod, so after I put a new tip on it, it's going to be about 8.5 foot. I can live with that. Unfortunately, the one fly shop in Newaygo is rather limited hours. And even though they did have the tips, I thought maybe one of the tips I needed, they were closed. So I went down to my favorite fly shop, or bait shop. They don't have that much fly gear, but they did have tips. Unfortunately, they were out of the size that I needed. So I'm just going to have to wait until they get some in. Or else Monday possibly I might go into the other shop and check it out. Problems with this line. Not doing too well here. Got the backlash. We'll have to See what I can do about fixing this. Wow, success. That's nice. I didn't have to tear this apart. I think I'm going to need to put some weight on this. I think I'm going to change my lure. Hope this is doing better. Yeah, what do we got here? Here we go. Experienced fishermen are probably going to tell me that I got the worst lure in the world. I'm using this because it's got some weight on it. Check my camera. If you can see out here by this tree out here in the middle of the river, it actually sits on an island. When the river's down, it's pretty shallow. Actually, it's all dry all the way down where you don't see the movement. The fisherman that was up on the deck over just about 100 yards down from me, they left. Doesn't surprise me, I never did very well, but I did see a nice steelhead there last year. But that's better. I decided just to kind of hang where I'm at. Then a young guy and his son, looks like, came down. Basically, with my level of experience, the only thing that this really does for me is to give me practice casting. I've got the wrong kind of a lure anyway, but we'll keep giving her a shot. That's not too bad. Ooh, that was a good one. I do like that. Actually, looks like a couple in their little one. I'm going to take another look at my lures. What else I might have. Yeah, we're going to wrap this one up. So, well, I think this has been recording and doing fairly well. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing that well. The one good thing is I haven't lost any lures or broken my line. A couple of tangles, was able to fix that. Sad to say, but that's usually about the best I can do. But it was fun, kind of nice getting out here again down at Wisner's. This is the launch. Good time to go because you don't have any activity except for a couple other fisher people or fishermen. But I'm going to wrap this one up for today, and we'll kind of go on, and I'll kind of bring you up to speed as far as what's coming up in the future, hopefully. But again, I got another one in for fishing. I hope you have a good Easter, or you had a good Easter by the time this goes out. I'm going to be going over to my sister's, and we're going to be doing a ham. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on that or not, but if I do, I'm sure it's going to be coming up within the week. Yeah, I'm trying to get back on schedule as far as putting something out every week. At least something with some halfway decent content, not just a lot of talking and gibberish. This is the deck that's down at Newaygo Park. It's Newaygo City Park, down on the Muskegon River, and this is a popular place, especially for me to do fishing. I enjoy doing that. I don't usually catch anything, lost a lot of lures, but I have kind of a good time, and it's a nice place to go. I can put my tackle box right here on the picnic tables and sit here and just kind of enjoy the fresh air and doing some casting. As you look behind me, that's the rest of the river, and this is the first half of the deck. I'm not going to shoot the other half because there's a couple of people. One, there's a couple with this, a young boy, and I don't shoot pictures of young boys. So I'll just kind of go on from there. Okay, right now I'm up on the deck and shooting a little B-roll. This is just on the other side of the trellis, and that's where I usually go fishing. it's regular Wisners. Starts off. I know this thing makes a lot of noise when it turns. I'll mute that out. This is going the other way. Right along here, I find that if you don't use the right lures, you're going to get snagged. This is where I lost more lures than any place else on this river. Had a nice little surprise. I was down at the deck or patio that goes over the river shooting a little B-roll, and there was a young couple there that had their boy that they were fishing at, and got to talking to them. Well, they came over and gave me this coin, you know, and thanked me for my service. I'd forgotten I've got my hat on that says I was a veteran, and very nice. It's like a little thank you coin, and the young man came over to me when I got done shooting and gave it to me and said, thank you for your service. Turns out they're a very nice couple. They definitely were from out of town. I believe they were in Jackson, and they were on a day trip, and so they came and stayed at one of the local hotels, and then went out for breakfast, and then they were fishing off the deck. So it was a very nice surprise, and I'm definitely going to put this up with my collection. And it's nice when you run into some nice people. So I just wanted to share that with you as well.
These people made one more very nice gesture, which is quite amusing on my part. But after I left, or when I got ready to leave, in my haste, I forgot to take my tackle box with me. And it was still sitting on a picnic table over where I was fishing at. They managed to recognize it, figured it probably belonged to me, and so they stopped and picked it up, drove up into Newaygo, figuring maybe I might have stopped there. Their intention was, if they didn't see me, they would go into the bait shop that I always talk about and leave it there for me to return, since they did know where it was at and which one it was, because I had a receipt in there. As a result, they saw my truck. They went into the restaurant that was right next door to it, where I was sitting and having a beer and some pretzel bites with cheese. And they came in and said, yeah, we thought we'd find you up here. And they went and gave it back to me. The funny thing is, or the sad thing is they got out of there so fast, I didn't get a chance to reward them. But that just goes to show there's some very nice people out there. And this couple and their young man was very good examples of people that we love to see and know. I hope you enjoyed this look at my second attempt at trying out my new rod. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And most of all, thanks for watching. Of course, feel free to make a comment, whether it's criticism, whether you liked it and want to make a positive comment, or if you want to tell me what to do, or maybe even to stay off the YouTube. But whatever you like, just please let me know. Any comment and all comments are welcome.